Hi, welcome to the Holyoke Tarot. My name is Liam, and today I have a pick a card or pick a pile reading for our fire signs for the month of May 2026. So that is our Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising signs for May 2026. So the decks we have today are our Rider-Waite deck with this stone. It's like kind of clear, yellowy. Modern Witch deck with this reddish, pinkish stone. And then the True Heart Tarot. True Heart. I think it's True Heart. True Heart. With this black stone. So feel free to pause the video here and pick a pile now, or just watch the whole video and see what resonates. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Messages do we have for our fire signs for the month of May 2026? Okay, that's a lot of cards. That many cards? That? No. Just that one. Excuse me. Messages for our fire signs for the month of May. Okay. We have the Hierophant, the Page of Swords, the World, the Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords. So that's a little bit of intensity at the end here, but these other cards aren't that intense. Lots of swords, fire, a lot of air for you. What is up with this? It's sort of feeling like there's this. I feel like I'm always saying this, that there's like these beginnings of things, but I just feel like there are a lot of beginnings. I feel like, especially it's like it's a new month, it's a start of something, and so it's kind of like there's kind of this energetic shift with the new months, or like shortly before with the signs shifting. There's also a full moon right at the beginning of this month, so there is like some changing happening. Also, the Page of Swords is kind of like beginner, like, it's your first day at the job, or like you're starting a new thing. And especially I feel like with the Hierophant and the Page of Swords, it does feel like there's some sort of pursuit that's happening. I would say it's like some sort of spiritual path, obviously, with the Hierophant. But it does feel like there's this like intellectual beginning. So it feels like you're starting a spiritual path, but maybe like doing it from this swords energy, so from more of this intellectual space. And maybe that's not exactly the best way to go about it, if those are any indication of that. But also, I think it's okay. I think like the 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 best way to do something is just to start. But I do think there's like this. There can be a tendency when you're beginning something, especially something that you don't know a lot about, and maybe you don't know anyone in your life who knows a lot about, that you tend to look often for these people outside of yourself. And I think that, I mean, there's no substitute, I don't think, for a really good teacher and a lot of experience and a lot of actual practice. But I do feel like the cards are kind of encouraging you to, maybe take your time a little bit with who you're following in regards to this spiritual path that you're beginning to pursue. Because there's a lot of like intensity here, and like mental anguish. A lot of fear potentially, a lot of like getting wrapped up in your projections. So I think there's some encouragement here, people who picked pile 1, for this month, to go into it with this beginner's mind, to go into these new discoveries with this beginner's mind, and open them to the whole world, I would say. Not as in go tell everyone about it, but as in like be willing to take in all sorts of different ideas and see what things feel the best for you through experimenting. And maybe don't hold yourself, don't get so attached to anything, right? Because if you just go like right in and you just buy this crazy course with the first person that you see on Instagram who's talking about magic, I think that could lead to some problems. Not to say that might not. No, it is to say that. I think that there needs to be like some nuance and some experimenting on your own part before you like dive headfirst into something. So dive headfirst into it with yourself and your own experimentations, but don't dive headfirst into it with like all of these external things. If that makes sense. That feels very specific to a specific person, so hopefully this finds you. And we'll move on to the next. I write down the timestamps, so if this is your first time watching a video, that's why I pause for a minute between each one. Alright, so this is our Modern Witch deck, which is this like stone, gosh, it's like salmon-y, maybe reddish hue. I don't know. Messages do we have for our fire signs for the month of May? Our Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I have a candle right here and it's making a funky noise. Anyways. Anyway, what energies do we have? What messages, I mean to say, do we have for our pile 2 fire signs? Any more cards? Any more cards? Okay, no, not the whole stack. See if we can get a couple more. Okay. Alright. 6 of Pentacles. Oh, fire signs. I think you're tired of yawning so much. The Hermit. I haven't gotten the Hermit card in this deck before. Interesting. 9 of Wands. 8 of Swords. Again, we got that in pile 1. And the 8 of Pentacles. Lots of 8s. Just 2, but that's a lot. Sorry. Gosh, let me take a drink of water. Okay. So the 6 of Pentacles, this is like sharing your gifts, but there's kind of like this weird, I feel like there's kind of like a weird element to it because it's kind of like picking who's going to receive the gift, you know, and it kind of feels like it has slightly a weird energy, but like you could be this gift giver and you could be the one who's choosing who to give a gift to, but I mean, you could also be one of these people who's like, oh, hey, pick me, pick me. I think in this instance, maybe you're the gift giver and there's people wanting things from you, especially because this is followed by the Hermit. So I think this could be people in your life who are wanting resources from you, or maybe they're taking too much of your energy and your time. I think that there's obviously a benefit and a reason to be generous if you have that capacity, and do it without expecting things in return. On the other hand of that, if it is like someone taking too much of your, or not even someone taking, because like ultimately you're in charge, so if someone's taking too much of your energy, you're giving that away. So I think that, yeah, maybe there just is an encouragement to step back and keep and quit giving so much of yourself away, right? Especially with this Hermit card. There's like, and this 9 of Wands to me is sort of like, in this deck feels like a little bit like, kind of like you're guarding all these things and you're hurt and you're injured, but you're still out here guarding everything. So there's a little bit of a sense of like, you know, giving too much of yourself. Maybe you don't have the capacity to give as much this month as you have in the past. And so this Hermit card is really just encouraging you to go inwards, take some time to yourself. I think that you need to recharge in whatever way that looks like for you. And I think the 8 of Pentacles too at the end here is encouraging you to recharge by, I think, really pursuing whatever hobbies and talents that you enjoy pursuing. I also think the 8 of Swords can kind of tie in with these other things, like you're literally tied up, right? And so, yeah, it definitely looks like it's probably other people in your life. It could be a career, it could be some with the Wands. That could be relationships with the Swords. There's potential for it to be like a career related maybe. But I do think that there is, just an encouragement to this month. Even just give yourself the month to just rest, give some time to yourself, and really dive in to these pursuits and do it with the Hermit, right? So do it on your own. You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to share it on socials. Just quietly do your thing. Pursue the thing that you've been thinking about setting aside time for. And like properly do it just for the month and see what happens, pull some of your energy back. You don't need to be giving it all away. And I think that's really the encouragement for those of you that picked pile 2. Cruising. This reading. Sorry, I'm having allergies. That's okay. I feel like it's just been crazy allergies this season. So this is our True Heart Tarot deck, and that is this little stone. I would say it's black, but then when I hold it up to the camera, it looks clear with some gray. All right. Did it out of order. That's okay. All right. New messages for our fire signs for the month of May. New messages. Fire signs for the month of May. Sorry, my kid has this thing called a Yoda player that reads these books. Well, there's books in music, but he has book ones that he's obsessed with and listens to them on repeat over and over and over again. So I have all the songs are always in my head over and over again. So I have a song from Room on the Broom in my head. Okay. The Sun. Queen of Wands. Three of Discs. Prince of Cups. And the King of Wands. Interesting. King and Queen of Wands. And this is for a fire sign, so that's kind of cool. So that sort of feels like a little bit of mastering the element of fire for you. Well, it's definitely feeling a little bit easier go on you, pile 3 this month. The Sun is just a great card, very smooth sailing. It's like that feeling. The Sun card is the Sun, obviously, but it's like that feeling when I don't know if you've ever lived anywhere where the sun doesn't come out every day, but it's like that feeling when let's say it's been raining for a whole week or something and finally the sun is out and you just go outside and there's sun on your face. That's the Sun card, right? So I think you have a fun month in store with that. And things are starting to be summertime in some places. The weather's definitely getting warmer. So really bask in it, right? When you have a chance, get outside in the sun, let it shine its light on you. And then we have the Queen of Wands. What are the rest of these cards encouraging? I think kind of like a playfulness, you know? I think like this Three of Dicks. Three of Dicks, I didn't mean to say that. Like these guys are just hanging out, they're sharing, they're chatting, they're kind of like having a picnic, it looks like. And with them kind of being like in like shadow figures, it sort of feels like it could be you know, like parts of yourself that you're attuning to, but it could also be, you know, like friends. It could be, it doesn't have to be like necessarily physical beings, but there is some like sharing of wisdom and sharing of resources and sharing of, you know, energy, like a mutual energy exchange there. And the Prince of Cups, he's riding in. He seems a little bit more serious, but you know his pace is slow. And you know, enough that he's not spilling. So there's not a rush here to like move into something. You know, I think that you can take your time. You can really enjoy this month. And with the King and Queen of Wands, there does feel like the energy is on your side. If you want to pursue a relationship, if like you're beginning something with that, I would say the energy's on your side for that. And what else? I'm feeling like there's not like a lot here aside from it feels like it's gonna be like a pretty positive month for you, but I'm not quite sure what these royal wands are telling you. I do feel like there's some action, right? I feel like maybe that's what they're telling you. Is to like lean into the fire starter, lean into the action. Just like, yeah, like if you maybe you've kind of been a homebody, maybe things have been a little bit slow, maybe it's been a hard winter, maybe a tricky spring, and so I think that there is I think the sense here is with the Sun card, especially like to get out. But I also think with the King Queen of Wands is like to act and move towards your true heart's desires this month. So if there's a concert you've been really wanting to go to, like get the tickets and go. If there's someone you've been wanting to like ask out on a date, maybe build up the courage and just ask them. You know. If there's, you know, I think if you're sitting around at home and you're like, oh, I need to go for a walk, then go for a walk and see where it takes you. Be open to the synchronicity and yeah, I think for this month maybe act before you think, especially if you're someone who's like a chronic overthinker. I definitely think the wands are encouraging you to like these fire elements, you know, is to lean into that and yeah, get out of your comfort zone a little bit and just do the thing and see what can happen. And I think you'll be excited about the change that can come when you do something different, you know, when you deviate off your path a little bit. So yeah, there's the guidance for that pile 3. Yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe, definitely leave a comment if there's any specific type of videos you want, like if you want more career ones or love or family dynamics or what have you. Leave a comment and let me know. If you want a one-on-one reading, I do offer those. Feel free to shoot me an email. That info is in the description. And I will catch you in the next one.